I wasn't going to make a video on this, guys. I didn't really know if it was even newsworthy. But people have been debating online whether Thierry Henry has been too harsh about Arsenal and his critique of the club in terms of some of his analysis on Victor Gyökeres and a chance he had. But then also setting a standard, saying that Arsenal must win silverware this year, talking about the depth in the squad, saying that, no club has better depth and that with that, there's got to be silverware. And look, a lot of people online are going, this is the king, this is Thierry Henry. When he speaks, you listen. Why you're getting defensive and sensitive about it? And other people are saying it's not the principle of what he's saying that is the problem. It's more the way he delivers it. And look, how you deliver it is how he delivers it is how you interpret it, really. Only he'll know how he means it and what his kind of real feelings are about it all. But this was on CBS, the show he does with formerly known as Kate Abdo, I can't remember her new surname, with Jamie Carragher and Michael Richards too. It's a great show on Champions League football. And, he saw Arsenal beat Athletic Club 2-0. And he had quite a bit to say about Arsenal in general this season, but also Arsenal in that game. And look, here's where I stand on all of it. I think there's so many layers to it. Let's talk about his actual criticism. Now, he analysed Victor Gyökeres in that chance where he took a first touch and ultimately had to sort of shoot with his left foot into the keeper. And he was basically saying a better touch across the defender would have set him up towards goal more. And look, I have to be honest, when I watched it, I didn't think Gyökeres did much wrong. I actually thought he took quite a good touch considering the pass. But in fairness, this is Thierry Henry, one of the greatest goal scorers ever. When he's got advice about what a striker should do, you listen. But at the same time, people feel that there's an element of Thierry Henry wanting people to do things that only he could do. Like almost he watches it and goes, well, why didn't you just do this? Like, yeah, because not every player is Thierry Henry. I don't know if you could say, well, not every player is Thierry Henry, therefore, therefore the criticism isn't fair. I think it's more that Victor Gyökeres isn't a Thierry Henry type player. And while he's got some pace for sure, and while he's quite a direct runner and a powerful runner, he probably doesn't have the guile on the ball and the silk and the speed to take him into the position that Thierry might have wanted him to. Or maybe he does. Maybe Victor Gyökeres is absolutely capable of that. And Thierry Henry, who's played the game and is a far better analyst than any of us, it is able to provide real insight and say, no, I want him to do this because he's capable of it. I have no real strong opinions. I thought it was slightly harsh analysis, but I don't know. I'll listen to the king on that one. Then he goes on to say that Arsenal must win silverware this year, or must win trophies. And look, do any of us disagree with that? Really think about it. Do any of us think that Arsenal, with the money spent, with the time Arteta's had, with the group of players we've got, the squad, do any of us think that Arsenal shouldn't be winning silverware this season? Because that's what I feel. I feel that we must win some kind of silverware this season. I think it's imperative for the overall culmination of the project's work, everything Arteta and everyone behind the scenes has built. I think it's simply because of the players we've got and the fact that we want to keep them for longer. We need to be winning things that they believe that they can realise their ambitions here. And fundamentally because we're all competitive. The players, the fans, everyone, we all want to win. Thierry Henry wants Arsenal to win. And when you've got that group and that outlay on the group, then the expectation is after this many years. Because you can have 1 year where it doesn't all work for you. I don't think anyone can be entitled and go, well, we must win a trophy this year. But what you can say is for a group that for a fourth year in a row has been capable of winning trophies, to win 0 out of 16, because it's 4 trophies per year, would be pretty poor, and that's where the pressure comes. So I don't think Thierry Henry is necessarily wrong. I don't know. I don't think he's wrong at all. I agree. But I think what people are missing... let me rephrase. I think what people are maybe adding to their opinion and maybe not always explaining it, and I don't know if I agree with this, but I'm just trying to explain on behalf of the other people, is that Thierry Henry is someone who has spoken out quite vocally when the club hasn't done things right. Some people say that's great. Your best ever player should set a standard that we all try and reach. But it's also followed by working with Daniel Ek, for example, and the potential takeover with the Spotify owner, Daniel Ek, and the fact that actually this ownership has, and we all rallied around that. A lot of us rallied around that. Went, great, Thierry Henry wants to be involved with Daniel Ek. They can go buy the club. We're going to get ambition. The ownership at Arsenal has performed much better since then. Whether you all think they've done enough or not is totally fair enough. But no one can say that they weren't right to at least back Arteta a little bit through that bad patch, because Arteta took us to a point of challenging for the title. Some will feel that they should have moved on from Arteta and brought someone else in. I don't feel that. Some may feel that there should have been even more money spent, but there hasn't been a lack of funds, has there? Let's be fair on that. So some people see Thierry Henry as kind of anti the ownership and anti the kind of, the top level people at Arsenal anyway. And this is someone who's gone into management a few times, not quite worked for him. This is someone who has, shown that he has a very high standard for things in general. I mean, there's that clip of, who was it? One of his Monaco players, when they didn't sort of put the chair under the table, and and he's trying to sort of stress good manners into them and stuff. And all this kind of maybe plays into this figure of Henry post-Arsenal, of like basically being really kind of demanding of the best standards, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that always sits with people. And the reason I don't think that always sits with people is because sometimes I think as fans and within ourselves, we want to project and we want to complain and we want to say what we feel about Arsenal. But when it's our legends in the media, we almost want them to defend the club. We almost want them to represent us better. I mean, Ian Wright got absolutely torn apart, and I didn't agree with this. He got torn apart for saying that Bukayo Saka could play on the left for England, and he got absolutely ripped for it. And you think, this guy represents us so well, defends the club no matter what, but everyone kind of turned on him so quickly because of one opinion on Saka. And with Henry, he doesn't really just defend Arsenal no matter what. He'll praise where he sees praise, and he'll criticise where he sees critique being fitting. And I don't think that always sits well with fans. So I think a lot of people go, no, Henry's wrong, no, Henry's bitter, no, Henry's this. When the reality is they probably just want their legends to stick up for the club a little bit more in public and back Arteta and back everyone. But should Henry give an opinion he doesn't really believe in? And if there's anyone who absolutely set the standards at the club and has a right to maintain those, is it not Thierry Henry? I think it's a really interesting debate. Henry's comments honestly don't do too much for me. I think his analysis is good, and when he's critical, I don't really think much of it. What I always ask myself is, are these things I've said before? So when I've said Arsenal have to win trophies or a trophy this season, how can I be mad at our greatest ever player saying it? Do you get what I mean? But I do understand that there's an element of, we're a good team, man. This young group just needs some encouragement. And I think we've had it with Freddie Ljungberg. I think we've had it recently with Tony Adams. This isn't the team that was finishing 8th, 7th, sort of scrambling for top 4. This is a young team, has been a young team over the years, that are trying to win the league and do something that lots of generations of Arsenal teams before haven't done since 2004, and they're closest to doing it with a young manager too. And I think it just feels that we perhaps want a little bit more encouragement from the legends for this group. And look, encouragement comes in a million ways. Thierry Henry is incredibly encouraging of Bukayo Saka, incredibly championing of him, welcomed Eze to the club and did great gestures like that. So I'm not saying that these legends aren't doing that, but I think when there's something perceived as negative, Arsenal fans don't always take that so well. Right or wrong, Lee, I think let the legends have their opinion, and I think if this group are thick-skinned enough, they'll understand that there is a reputational weight to the badge that is delivered through the fans, but also through the legends that played before. It's just really interesting how people perceive these kind of critiques when they come around. Anyway, just some thoughts on that. We'd love to know yours in the comment section below. Is Thierry Henry too harsh on Arsenal? Are his standards too high? Or is he completely fair? We need to listen to the king when he speaks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Catch you in a bit.